I've helped well over 400 personal trainers move their business full-time online at this point. And on Saturday, I decided to run a live workshop with a group of trainers to help them do exactly the same thing. I actually recorded it because I want you to be able to watch the replay if you weren't able to attend the live workshop. And I've also, in the link below this video, left a link which you can book into a call with myself on if you want to get a custom game plan in place and potentially work with us on your business, because I offered the opportunity and I gave that link to the guys in the workshop. I want to offer that opportunity to you as well. So if you find this workshop valuable and you want to get more help from myself, that link's down below. But without further ado, let's jump into this training and get you moving online.
So, thank you for joining, guys. This is really, really good. I've been thinking about doing these for a while, just because, I like to do live trainings. I like to come on and sort of have a bit of a workshop and sort of speak back to the people that aren't just, in our program, but also thinking about joining, or, perhaps trying to get the things off the ground with their online business, but you're just struggling to find information and it's a little bit confusing. So I wanted to just make this workshop so that I could be here with you and we can have some more direct communication. So I'm going to be walking you through the exact process that we've used with 400 plus personal trainers to help them move their business fully online. We've been doing this over the past 4 years. We've helped around 400, maybe it's a bit over that at this point, and all of them have gone online. Over that period of time, I've personally obsessed over exactly what needs to happen in order to actually get yourself to the point where you are fully online. So the structure of this training today, I am going to go through my background. I'm going to talk through where I've come from and how I've done this. I'm going to keep it brief. This isn't the Tom Hut show. This is just more about so that you know the information I'm giving you is coming from a backed source, in that I've been through the journey that you are currently on in trying to move your business online. We're going to talk about how online coaching works. Now, I know some of you are at a point where you kind of know how you understand online coaching, you're trying to get more clients. But I think just having like a refresher on like what online coaching actually is, just to wrap your head around it on a deeper level, can actually just it can help just to define it a little bit more. And then we're going to talk about how to move online. We're going to cover the overview of like everything that we need to work on. I want you to leave the workshop today feeling very clear on what it is that you need to do, like your exact next step within your business in order to grow it. At the end, we're going to go through a Q&A. I'm going to open it up so that you can unmute and ask questions. We can do some Instagram reviews. I've got here now, I don't have any more calls today. So I can just be here. I'm here all night, potentially. So if you guys want those Instagram reviews at the end, we'll do that. Now, is that clear and does that sound good to everybody? If it does, just put a one in the chat for me. Stick a one in the chat. Good, 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 good. Thank you very much. Oh, my light's gone off. Oh, well, that could stay. Brilliant. All right, so we're going to jump into my background. Like I said, I'm going to keep it really brief. I'm not going to give you the full story. But basically, in 2018, I was in a similar position to potentially what some of you are in now. I mean, by this picture, you can probably tell I was a little bit more degenerate than a lot of you probably are. But I was really trying to make an online coaching business work, and I would kind of fluctuate in and out of jobs where I would get some online clients. I'd, get really happy, quit my jobs, and then I would basically burn my coaching business to the ground because I was confused by different strategies. I was being pulled in different directions. I would spend all my money on a business mentorship or ads. And I basically would build it up, burn it down, build it up, burn it down. And this went on until about 2018. And it kind of all got to a point where, I'd really thought I had a grasp on things. I came out here to Thailand actually in 2018, and I had a bunch of online clients. But what happened was, because I wasn't good at business at the time, because I wasn't good at business at the time, the business burned to the ground. I lost all of my clients and I ended up having to fly home. And that's, again, I had really unhealthy escapes. I was drinking a lot. I was just being, in general, just a degenerate. It wasn't being good at all. I was lost, is the best way to put it. If we fast forward 7 years to now, right, I am incredibly clear. That's the best way to describe it is I wake up in the morning, I feel exactly like I know what I need to do. I feel very structured. We've got a team, we've got organization, there's processes, systems, things happen. We do multi six figures every single year. I have a fulfilling life and I know where I'm going above all else. So it's this clear vision, and that for me, coming from the point of being confused and overwhelmed, has been the only way I can describe it is euphoric. right? And I want that to be you as well. I want you to have that clarity. So we're going to jump into how online works. And I know this sounds like really, really basic and really, really simple, but I think that if you don't have a grasp on like the fundamentals of what that means or what online coaching actually is, even if you're trying to get online clients right now, it's going to be really difficult because you're not going to know essentially what you're selling. Can somebody put in the chat for me, or everybody, take a guess? Like, why do people buy online coaching? What do they buy online coaching for? If you had, like, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Let's hear a few answers in the chat. Fix a problem they have, support and guidance. Yep. Expertise. It's cheaper than getting a PT in person. Flexible guidance. Transform themselves. Don't have time to go to the gym. Accountability. Brilliant. Brilliant. Some really, really solid answers there. Some really, really solid answers. More potential attention than historic approach for sure, for sure, for sure. Okay. Yes. All right. I really, really like those answers. And absolutely all of them, there is no right and wrong in this. All of them are definitely correct answers. But when it comes down to buying anything, especially online coaching, the reason that we buy things is to essentially achieve a transformation. And that can be boiled down to something as simple as buying water. We buy water because we're thirsty. The transformation that buying water and drinking water takes us on is being hydrated. The way that you want to view your online coaching product is based on the outcome that you help people achieve. So somebody said in there, transform themselves. That is why people buy online coaching. I mean, that's why people buy anything. So if you can market based off this, then you're going to hit the exact emotional and psychological triggers that you need in order to get people to engage with you and actually buy. This is the biggest misunderstood part of online coaching that people don't get. Like I said, we've worked with 400 plus. I've worked with, I've spoken to thousands of personal trainers over the past 4 years, literally thousands of people like yourself. The biggest thing that they misunderstand is that they're selling an outcome, not a process, not a program, not accountability. It's an outcome. And this is where we have to start. If you're not currently started, this is where we have to begin. Now, before we can kind of decide what the outcome is going to be, then it's really important that we understand like why we're doing this and how this works. And again, why people do things, i.e., buy things or act on their fitness or act on their business. So there's two drivers. You've got the pain of the current situation, and you've got the lack of fulfillment in the desired outcome, meaning that like the pain gets so high that an action threshold is hit. So, for example, you will get so thirsty that you drink. You will get so broke that you go to work. You will be so tired that you need to sleep. We are driven by pain, right? That's the reason why people do things. We're also driven by like a lack of fulfillment in desire. So once that desire is built up so much to the point where we don't have that, and we have this big empty sort of empty cup which we want filling, that's when we'll take action as well. So we've got to understand that you're no longer in the business of trading your time and resources for money. You're in the business of exchanging money for solutions to people's problems and helping them achieve their desired outcomes. I'm gonna sound like a broken record, and I've even got a few clients. Is my video froze? That looks silly, doesn't it? No, we're back. No, we're back. So yeah, and my clients, there's a few of my clients in here. You'll know that I drill this like down to the T. Desired outcomes very important because value is created when pain is alleviated and a desired outcome is achieved. So you have to reduce the pain of somebody's situation. You have to fulfill the desire, and that is what creates value, and that's what people will pay you for. Is that making sense? Like, put a one in the chat if that makes sense to you. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Yeah. It's really important, this, guys. And like again, I'm going to open it up to Q&A once I've sort of gone through all of this. And if you're sort of like sat there wondering, well, okay, well, what's my step from that? Your step is essentially to figure out, and again, this is before you post any content, before you set up your Instagram, before you start to do any outreach or spend any money on ads, before you do anything, right? Your first step is to write down what is your client's current situation and what is their desired outcome. The more specific you can be on this, the better, because this is what people will pay you for. It's the fundamental foundation of the business. So anyway, let's move on. Now, what I'm here to do, and like what our business essentially is, what our business essentially is taking people from working their gym floor role or a 9 to 5 job with little to no online income to the point where they're making between £5,000 and £10,000 per month from online coaching. Now, we're not like just ignore, don't get caught up in the numbers, ignore the numbers. Our business is literally called Move Online. We've obsessed over the process of going from in-person or job to the point where you're fully online. The process that I'm about to explain to you is the exact process that we've used with over 400 personal trainers to help them move online. This works. And it can be really, really easy when you get into online coaching. This is like my depiction of how it feels to start online coaching, right? It's a little bit of a joke, right? It's like it just feels messy, it feels confusing. You're getting targeted with ads on Instagram of one person saying one thing, another person saying another, and then you've jumped on a live with Tom and he's saying this, but then this other YouTube video is saying that. And the problem is that you're receiving a lot of advice and direction without proper context. And that's also why I wanted to do this live with you lot today, because I can actually have you unmute and we can actually have a conversation at some point. And I can get context on your situation and give you direction based on where you're at, which is really, really important. So we want to kind of reduce this overwhelm and give you clarity. So we can break it down to bottlenecks. We can break it down to bottlenecks, right? To things that are stopping you from becoming online, which if you were to get rid of these things, get rid of these roadblocks, you would be at the point where you're making between 5 and 10K per month from online coaching. So let's just go right from the very beginning. So you're working your gym floor or your 9 to 5. The first problem that you're going to encounter after you've figured out what your offer is going to be, who you're going to work with, what you're going to help them do, is audience, right? A flow of people coming to find you. This is the first problem that we have to fix. From there, we've got to make sure that you can turn those people into clients. After that, we've got to make sure that your delivery has structure. Most people just get tripped up because they don't have a structured delivery and then they lack conviction in their product and they can't sell it. So the symptoms of this, right? Like you might be feeling this at the moment. It might be feeling disheartening, and in like it's never going to work. You've got the same 3 people liking all of your posts. You've got low or no engagement on your content. You've got essentially no leads. That's what this is. Like if you're not growing an audience, you're not getting leads. I know it might sound like, okay, so does that mean a follower is a lead? Understand this, guys, that like a lead is not a binary thing. It's not like, okay, this person is a lead, yes or no. It's how much of a lead is this person. So every one of your followers on Instagram, to some extent, can be considered a lead. We just need to engage them and warm them up more by going through the conversion process, which we're going to walk through today. So again, if you can't convert, then it probably feels like you're facing constant rejection and your confidence is plummeting. You're hearing, I can't afford it all the time. There's nobody really interested in online coaching or in your offer. You essentially have no system to follow in order to turn those people to clients. Next, having an unstructured delivery, what this results in is basically crippling imposter syndrome, because you're new to online, right? Especially if you've not served clients before, there'll be people in here who are in that situation. Then you might feel a little bit like, well, can I even get people results? Like, can I even help people? And that's going to seep into your marketing, into your lead gen, into your sales, right? If you don't have a structure for your delivery. So you're just not clear on like how it works and how to get people results, which is fine. And again, we're going to be doing more workshops, showing more of the technical around that. Today's mostly going to be the overview of how to make it work. Unsure which apps to use. You've essentially got no product. It feels like when you're jumping on a call, you've got nothing to give to people. So look, the 3 areas, and please, please, please hear me when I say this. You don't need to focus on anything in the business except these 3 areas. It's the only, like, people go and piss about getting like logos made and websites made and all this stuff, and it doesn't matter, because the only 3 things that you have to do is grow your audience, turn your audience members into clients, and get consistent results once they pay you. And I'm going to walk you through each step of how that works. I'm going to be showing you examples in this workshop of like our clients who are literally doing this live. And then we're going to open it up to Q&A. Is this making sense? Is this hitting for everybody so far? Give me a 1 in the chat if you can. Beautiful. Good stuff. Good stuff. Before we move on, any big questions coming up for anybody at the moment? Any big questions coming up before we move on? Feel free to put them in the chat. It might be that we answer the questions. I'm going to aim to make sure that there are no questions based off that. Okay, I'm not seeing anything in the chat, so you guys must be good. All right, cool. So this is the full process. This is like the exact process that we give to all of our clients. It's the exact process that we've given to 400 plus personal trainers to help them move online. And it's what works incredibly predictably and consistently. So as we spoke about, the three areas that you got to focus on in the business is growing the audience, converting the audience, and then getting those people results. But how does that actually work? Like, what does that actually look like? Well, one of the first things that we've got to focus on is your offer. Like we just spoke about, who you're going to work with and what you're going to help people do. If your offer, and the reason why I call it a priority offer, if your offer isn't something that people will prioritize their money for, then it's not going to work. And what I mean by that is, for example, I used to teach people to do a handstand. Do you think that learning a handstand is that high of a priority? It's not really, is it? Right? So it's a bit ridiculous. So in contrast to that, what a high priority offer would look like would be a weight loss offer. Because when you lose weight, it adds potential years onto your life. It instills healthy habits onto your family, your children, your children's children. There's this massive knock-on effect. It's a priority, right? So that's the outcome that you're helping people achieve. It must be a priority. From there, we're going to talk about audience growth. Once you know your offer, we've got to get audience members coming in. We'll talk about that. Now, here's a big thing that a lot of people are talking about at the moment is personal branding. And actually, I think it's something that online coaches underplay and they just sort of try to go with any cookie cutter content approach and put themselves in across in a way which they think they should. When it comes to your content, the best thing that I can say to you in a short call like we're doing today is just be your fucking self. Like, do not try to be anybody else online. Do not turn the camera on and try to emulate anybody else's language. Don't try to take on anybody else's mannerisms. Go on there and explain your approach to the transformation that you take people on. And as long as your content is related to that transformation and solves problems within it, and you're not completely unbearable, people will like you. And that's what the personal branding element is. Some people will just, again, show your likable qualities online. If you have a dog and when you play with your dog, it's a really sweet and cute interaction, show that because that's a likable quality that people will watch. Some people will just pay you because they like you. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Some people will genuinely just pay you because they like you. And the more of that you can show off, the better. So once you've got your offer, audience is growing, which we're going to talk about in a second here, and you're actually building that personal brand somewhat, we can move on to converting people to clients. Now, there's three activities. And again, I'm not saying this to be like narrow-minded or like I'm not saying this to like sell you onto our thing or anything like that. If anything, this will do the opposite. There's only three things that you can do in order to turn people to clients. You can post content, you can start conversations, and you can take calls. That's it. Those are your three money making activities. That's all you've got, right? Content, conversations, calls. So what this means is that we need to do it well. We need to do it to an extent where we see return. So you can break it down to two different types of content that you've got. You've got content that grows your audience. You've got content that converts your audience. An example of content that converts your audience is this. This is like, for example, some of you guys, you're already booked onto a call and considering joining our thing off this, right? So this is an example of that, and some of you might end up working with us in the future, right? Some of you won't, that's okay. But this is an example of conversion content. It's long form content where I'm giving lots of value. People are very engaged. We're having conversations with all of you. This is conversion content. Again, this is just one example. There are many examples that are out there. Long form copy posts, story posts. We're gonna cover that, but don't worry about that for now. If you want to get clients, you're gonna have to start conversations. And I know that sounds a little bit obvious. But so many people are scared of doing cold outreach. Put a one in the chat if you hate the idea of cold outreach. And it's okay. You can put like one. Okay. Yeah. Solid. Cool. Yeah, yeah, good, good. Yeah. Cold outreach sucks. Cold outreach sucks. And I would only recommend it. Like it's not fun, but the thing with cold outreach, right, is that it kind of does work. Like, I mean, it doesn't kind of does work. It definitely it definitely works. However, it doesn't give you leverage or enjoyment in your business or the freedom that you want. So we still want to do warm outreach. And this is where I think people get a little bit scared off with online coaching is that they think, I'm gonna have to send messages to people, I'm gonna have to talk to people, I'm gonna have to have, some form of like push and salesperson to me. The truth of that is, yeah, you are gonna need to push people as a coach would. You are gonna need to start conversations with people. You are gonna need to put yourself out there somewhat, especially when it comes to relationships. And that's not easy. And you are gonna get rejected. That's just normal. That's how it works. But your content should make it so that you don't have to do cold DMs. For example, everybody who's signed up to this event, we've booked a load of calls in with people off this event, and they're not even here now. But they'll still jump on that. We'll still make sales from doing something like this, right? So we've created an opportunity to engage, communicate, and start relationships with the people that are in our space and potentially need our help, right? So that's how your content should link to conversations. Again, there's so much on that we can cover, but that's the basic idea of it. Next is getting sales. So once you actually get somebody on a call, turning them into a client. Now, again, I'm not really of the approach. Like, if anybody here, we've got a few clients in here, but if anybody here has ever been on a sales call with me, I don't tend to drag people over the line. I don't even like to call it a sales call to people who aren't in sales. I like to call it you're on a call helping somebody make a decision to help themselves. That's all it is. You're helping them make the right decision for them. Okay? You take the money out of it. You don't like when you're on a sales call, you don't even think about the money. Focus solely on helping that person get from again, it comes back to this all the time. You're getting your head in the game with somebody and saying, "Where are you? Where would you like to go? Where would you like to be?" Catherine's got a question there. What did you say there? Your content should reduce your need for cold outreach. Was that it? Yes, your content should reduce the need for cold outreach. So, for example, like me doing this live workshop today, or whenever we offer a training and people raise their hand for it, that's then not cold outreach. It's still technically outreach, but it's warm outreach because somebody's engaged with us first from that, right? Yeah, yeah. So that's why your content is really important that you are putting together things like this and trainings and free guides and stuff like that because then you don't constantly have to be dragging people over the line and you're actually, it's a much nicer environment us being in this call together rather than me pinging you 50 DMs trying to follow up with you and get you to join our program, right? It'll be some people, and again, guys, there's no sales pitch coming in this workshop, by the way. It will be some of you end up in a conversation with us and need our help and we jump on a call and you become a client. Some of you won't be at that point yet, which is fine. There's no worries with that. So yeah, that's what sales comes down to. You're taking somebody from where they want to be, from where they are to where they want to be. Next is getting people results. First things first, we call this a transformation machine. Now, we get each of our clients, if you see this diagram that I've got here, we get each of our clients to build out a version of this for their clients, for their offer. And the reason that we do that is so that they have a clear, number one, journey that they take their clients on, but number two, understand what's in between their clients and where they want to be. So, for example, as I'm explaining this to you now, you're probably like, oh, yeah, no, like I do have a small audience. Yeah, I do need to get my audience growing. And then when I'm talking about, okay, but then you need to convert them, like it's probably making a shit ton of sense to you as I'm saying this. And every time I show this to our clients or to somebody on a sales call, they go, oh, well, Yeah, like that's the process. Like that makes sense. We think in stories, we think chronologically. If I think about the rest of my day, it's in I'm telling myself the story of the rest of my day. If you think about growing your business, you're telling yourself the story of how it's going to grow. And you need to be able to do that with your clients. Tell them the story and show them the process and the structure towards them, getting to their outcome. After that, we want to make sure that you're getting referrals. Again, I'm not going to cover so much of that in this call today. And then we have retention mastery, right? We want to make sure that you're retaining your clients. We're not necessarily about having a revenue roller coaster. We want nice, consistent income. So this is really what builds up. This is like all the ingredients that you need in order to make your online coaching business work. And we are going to jump into some more of the intricacies. I've got some more stuff to show you, and some actual client examples of this as well, and some case studies. But we're about 30 minutes in. That was a massive overview, and I appreciate you all listening. I am actually going to open it up for a few questions at this point before we jump into some examples. Was that making sense to everybody though? Stick a one in the chat. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Thank you guys. Okay. I'm going to at this point. So, like I said, some of you from this call will end up on a call with myself. If you're looking at what I've just shown you there, and you're thinking, I really just need someone to hold my hand through that process. And this is the only time I'm going to say this in this call, guys. So don't think I'm going to just do endless pitches at the end of it or anything like that. I'm going to drop a link in the chat now. That link will take you to a booking page. If you want to book a call in with myself, you can click on that link and we can have a chat. All right, see if we can implement this for you. But now, let's open it up. Does anybody have any questions? Catherine, Catherine, Catherine. Hang on. How do I unmute you? I've got everybody muted.
Have it now?
Oh yeah, okay. You have to unmute
Here.
yourself. Brilliant.
Is that okay? You hear me?
Absolutely. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I think you know what I'm going to say here because we have spoken a number of times before.
Yeah.
It's not the content, it's the small audience, no leads, and
Uh-huh.
starting conversations. It's how do you if whenever you're joining Facebook groups, numerous hundreds, and a bit about who you are, trying to get that trust, getting that connection.
Hmm.
How, but and yes, and there are people who like what you're posting and show your transformation of yourself before and after and what you're about,
Yeah.
building credibility, building trust, and you get people who like the post,
Yeah.
but then those people are so you follow up with them, and going by your script and you follow up with them.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
The majority are in really good shape already and they're not looking for weight loss or for a
Uh-huh.
coach.
Yeah.
And that's through hundreds and hundreds of Facebook groups.
Yeah.
It's building, it's starting conversations. It's
Starting
how to
conversations.
get the right people to start the
Uh-huh.
conversations with.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. So just for context then, Catherine, with what you're doing, just so everybody understands what you're talking about there. So, Catherine and I have worked together on this, and the strategy that we're following is essentially using, so if we're kind of looking at the structure that we're following here for the audience growth section and for like finding new people to speak to, the strategy that we've opted for with Catherine's situation is to actually go through Facebook groups and to manually add friends in those Facebook groups so that we are growing an audience on Facebook. Now, some of you will have come onto this live through Facebook, and you might be looking at our Facebook group and wondering, how have you got 2,200 members in the Facebook group? And you might look at like my profile, there's like 5,300 followers, and you're like, but how have you done that? Really plain and simply, to grow this audience, all I did every single day, and this is again, we'll talk more about audience growth, is add 50 friends per day from my niche. Some of you are probably thinking, what? Is it that simple? Genuinely, to grow this, yes. And I'm just saying this, Catherine, to give context to everybody. so that they understand the strategy. Because what you're saying is that you're doing this strategy of like going into the Facebook groups and trying to add people, but you're not necessarily finding the right people to then be able to like reach out to in a warm conversation, if I'm hearing you right.
Yeah, even if they're groups that are specifically interested in, say, they're interested in weight loss, or if they're parents with where time short, given that was the strategy or something that we'd looked at.
Yeah.
Um, it's just finding the people, the people who are want to come on board.
So yeah, no. So this is the thing, right? When you're growing the audience, you almost want to not. I know it sounds counterintuitive. You almost want to not find people who you almost want to try not to find people that want to come on board because nobody wants to come on board. Like that, and this is like the reality of online coaching is that um nobody's necessarily they're not really interested in online coaching. Nobody wakes up in the morning and thinks, "Oh, I'm interested in online coaching." They wake up in the morning and they think, "I need to lose weight." They wake up in the morning, they think, "I wish I had a bit more muscle." Right? They get in the gym and they think, "I wish I could lift heavier. I wish I could run faster." Whatever it might be, right? So and every human has those thoughts. So when we're expanding the audience, that's how we want to see it, is expanding the audience with people that are relevant to our niche. Because when you post a piece of content, let's say, for example, on Instagram, if I go to my Instagram here and I open up my reels, there's 1,000 or 5,000 people watching the reel. What percentage of those people could be potential clients? I don't know, but I know that the large majority won't be. So coming back to my
Mm,
point, when you're doing these ads, you just want to give yourself a consistent flow of new faces who are in the demographic that you're aiming for. Don't It doesn't have to, and this is where like I've seen this quite a lot. People will go to like niche specific Facebook groups to try and find clients, like weight loss groups and whatnot. I actually have seen a little bit less success with those groups just because there's so many trainers in there. There's so many weight loss pyramid schemes, Herbalife. There's all sorts of crap in there, and you get buried amongst that, and people's guard is so far up, and they're so sophisticated as leads because so many people are trying to sell to them that you're already starting off in like a people call it a red ocean, meaning there's already loads of sharks eating all the food in there, causing loads of blood to be all over the place. But my point is, what I would recommend in that scenario would be to go through more local Facebook groups. So, for example, I'm from, and I know that we've spoken about this.
yeah,
I know that we've
yeah,
spoken about this. Um, but for example, like I'm from Cheshire, and really all I'm looking to do, let's say, for example, just to give you like a really tangible example of this. Let's say, for example, I'm wanting to target, women. Then I'm actually going to come through here, and I'm just going to find just Julie. Julie might want to lose weight. Julie might want to feel better about herself. I don't see why she wouldn't. So it's like again, like it's not that
right,
I don't think she's going to be
right,
I don't think she's going to be a client there and then. I don't think she's going to be a client there and then. That's fine. But if my offer is working with women of around that age demographic, Samantha, Kelsey, like these are like perfect, right? Emily, like I don't know that they're going to be good for it, but it's a start. It's like if
right.
this is how the numbers work out with Facebook. If you're adding about if you're adding around if you're adding Jesus, if you're adding more people, that's not me, guys. That's not me. Facebook, man. If you're adding like 50 people a day, the acceptance rate on the friend request is about 50%. So hopefully Facebook doesn't show us something loose this time. I wanted to post this on YouTube, but that's bad. With with the acceptance rate, it's about 25%. Now, sorry, about 50%. So you get about 25 people as new friends every single day once you're doing it really consistently. Now, and again, not to get too into the nitty-gritty of this, you can also go onto your friend suggestions. Now, if anybody is trying to get clients on Facebook, here's what I recommend you don't do. Do not go and accept a bunch of friend requests because for the most part, these are people running this exact same strategy for their business. Jacob, Alan, all these people will be business people, VAs, because this is it's an effective strategy. And as you can see, loads of people are using it hundreds and hundreds of people are using it. Do not go and accept a bunch of people because your DMs are going to be full of people just trying to sell you onto something. You need to go to
Okay.
the tab below, which is people you may know, and that's where you can start to add people. So you'll see that mine is, and again, this has took time to like kind of get the algorithm right for this through us adding a bunch of personal trainers and Facebook learning what, who we work with. I've now got a bunch of potential leads here. And again, I don't even know that these are personal trainers, but I'm just adding them to my network because it looks like there's a chance they are. Some of them will be, right? And I'm not overthinking it too much. I'm not, again, we don't want this to be a tedious task. It's weird enough as it is that you just add in random friends on Facebook. I get that. So just get it done so that you can get your first few clients. It's like if your content's not hitting, it's one just like guaranteed way that you're gonna get faces through. But
Okay.
does that answer your question there?
It gives me more ideas.
Yeah.
It does. Let them come to you.
Yeah.
Do a shotgun approach, a messy shotgun approach rather than a specific targeting,
Yeah.
and see
Yeah.
what sticks. Let them come back to you. Yeah. Okay.
In a way, yeah, 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 yeah. But I know I've got a chat lined up with you soon, so
Yeah.
we'll see more of that there. So that's fine.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
Right, pleasure, pleasure. Um, okay, okay. Does anybody else have any questions that they'd like to ask? So hang on, we've got Zach. Um, okay, Zach, you're asking about booking that call through the link that I put in the chat earlier, are you, mate? Zach's there. Oh, you're muted, I think, pal. I think you're muted.
Yeah, the b- basically, yeah. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, mate. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, sorry. Can you maybe just ask your question again?
Yeah, basically, so I'm pretty early on with my whole process, and
Yeah,
I just don't want to like start trying to like learn how to run before I walk.
yeah,
Basically, like obviously, I feel like you need to put in the like a amount of time on the gym floor and stuff. But obviously, my aim is to become online eventually. Um, Obviously, will is your niche just specifically helping people get online, or would like booking onto that call add value for like someone in my position that's obviously earlier on?
yeah. Well, I mean, it depends. It depends how you sort of mean earlier on. If your mind is really set that you really really want to go and do in person first, and you don't want to focus on online, then I'd say don't book the call. But if I would argue that like if your goal is to go online, this goes for everybody in here. If your goal is to go online, there's no reason to do in person first. And the reason for that is because they're two totally different business models. You will see people online saying that you should do in person first, but it's just not the case. They're two different businesses, and there's no reason why you can't grow them side by side. There's no reason why if you want to go online and you don't really want to be doing in person, you can't just go online. Um, so yeah,
Yeah, it's just with the I feel like you'd maybe feel like me personally, just like like the imposter crack that you were talking about earlier.
yeah,
I feel like just maybe like having to like prove like results and that, because obviously I've worked with a few clients now and I'm getting results, but yeah, I don't really know how to explain it any better. But obviously I've just listened to like James Smith, and like James Smith just hounds on about doing like so many hours on the gym floor and that. But if you're saying it's a totally different,
yeah. I mean, look, the thing is, it's like you kind of got to do what's right for you, to be honest, Zach, because James Smith is a very, very, very powerful marketer, and when someone's a very, very, very powerful marketer, they'll speak in absolutes, and what you have to do, whether it's my marketing that you're looking at, whether it's James Smith's marketing, whether it's marketing for anything, any product, is you've got to take it with a pinch of salt. you really really got to take it with a pinch of salt because marketing is it is bravado. It is front. It's it's almost like marketing almost can't be reality. Like it's there's so many nuances to life and to what you're trying to do and to your business that it's like marketing's there to just make you act on something in a certain way, to zone you into like one way of thinking. That's what it's there to do with every product. I'm marketed to very easily. I'm the easiest seller in the world. So like I have to really catch myself when I'm buying into someone's beliefs or someone's marketing too hard that I'm like, okay, is that really right for me? Is that really what I want? Um, but on the point of like the imposter syndrome, man, like why do you think you have that?
Um, Basically, I'm like my niche is I'm 23-year-old lad, and as shallow as it sounds, like I'm good at like getting people in good nick to go to Ibiza. Basically, I've never really worked with older like clients. I haven't worked with any middle-aged women. Obviously, like the fundamentals of like training and diet is basically the same for everyone. But
Yeah.
I'd feel very if like a 19-year-old lad um messaged me saying that they're going on holiday and they want to get in sick shape, I'd be pretty confident with that. But if I don't know, like a 50-year-old woman, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I haven't like got the experience yet with.
But but like if you're gonna go online, I mean that's like me saying, oh, I haven't got experience yet with coaching I don't know, coaching massage parlors to like get more clients. But it's like I'm never gonna have to do that, so it's fine. Like if you're good at getting guys in good nick who want to go to Ibiza and like have the Ibiza summer transformation, why don't you just do that?
Yeah, it's a good point. It's just 19-year-old boys don't have as much expendable cash as like.
Well, I mean, I've not spent a lot of time in Ibiza, but I do know a few people that do, and it's not just 19-year-old kids that are going there. And people that are going to Ibiza, they're going to spend a lot of money. Tell you what, let me let me show because I've got a friend. He's not a client. He is a friend. This guy, that I knew from back home, and he kind of has a very similar offer to what you're talking about. And he went straight into online. He didn't do any in person first. This Charlie. He has a very, very similar offer to yours, and every single. Are you still with us, Zach, or is it just gone like?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, you are okay. I wasn't sure if you froze. He does the IB for transformation for himself every single year, and he's
yeah,
built a really, really strong business. Really strong business. The thing is with in person is that like what a lot of people do is they almost get trapped because they're like, okay, well, in person is my bread and butter, and then they kind of get stuck doing it. I mean, maybe there's some of you in here now that are in that position where you're like, oh, like I'm getting leads, I'm getting clients, but they just want in person. That happens a lot. Whereas when you go straight into online, you're building the business that you want to build from the off.
yeah. Yeah, it's just from conversations with uh, people that aren't PTs, just like friendly people giving advice. But they were saying that like I need to tap into like older markets and that with people with more money and stuff like that. But if I did just stick to like what I know and what I'm good at, then that would definitely obviously help with the imposter side of things. So
Yeah, don't like we get certain business owners come on the phone with us. You know, I made the mistake when I first started this of coaching a woman that claimed to be a witch with her like witchy offer where she like did I don't know what she did. It was weird, but she like I couldn't help her because I was like I don't know. I said like what am I meant to do? Like what are we trying to do? So like now when I get witches come to me, I don't take them on as clients.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's
Uh,
like you'd be a better coach if you just stuck to the IB for boys anyway, and I would go for that older IB for boy demographic that are can afford a table and whatnot and a bottle.
Yeah, all right. Nice one.
Yeah.
Cheers.
All right, mate. All right, guys. Does anybody have any other questions they want to put out there? Cool. Are you feeling clearer on the whole thing? Just put a 1 in the chat if you are feeling clearer on it. Solid. Solid, solid, solid. Do you have a preferred app for online coaching? Sorry for that question. No, it's okay, mate. Yeah, so for online coaching, it depends. It depends on what you want. I mean, I would typically recommend, I'll just type them in the chat. Maybe just copy and paste this, Dan. There's one called Trainerize. Really, really good. Basically does the job for you. There's one called Everfit, which has got like a lot of automation. It just looks a little bit cleaner. There is one called Kahunas as well. Kahunas. Trainerize, Everfit, Kahunas. Those are really good apps, which you can use. And I would recommend, like, once you know what your offer is, like again, if you're like stuck right now and you're not actually sure which like step to take next, then your first step is figuring out what your offer is. Once you know what your offer is, I would recommend having a go at one of those apps and seeing which one you like and just getting it set up. But yeah, guys, I think if there's no questions, I will likely finish it off. In fact, before I do leave, I've actually got a question for you. I'm going to do another one of these probably in the next few weeks. This one was like a first one, almost a bit of an experiment to see sort of Drew says been on the gym floor for 9 years. Almost a bit of an experiment for, seeing if it works and seeing if it's valuable. Really good turnout. Didn't expect 23 people to turn up, to be honest, based on based on the opt-ins and whatnot. But I appreciate you all being here. So if you could put in the chat what you feel like you need help on, then we can make a training around that, right? And that's really going to help. So please put in the chat what you need help with. Just while people are doing that. Drew, you said you've been on the gym floor for 9 years. Were you going to say something else there, mate?
Hello.
Hello, mate.
So yeah, I've been on the gym for 9 years. So I'm a transformation fat loss coach. So my job's important to me. So I practice what I preach. So I'm not one of them people who go out there and give all the information to other people who if I don't know about it, I won't teach it. So my background, I'm a high rep coach. I do personal training, I do marathon. So I do everything. But I just think now I've got 2 kids, I think it's time for me to go online coaching. So I've got a couple of people on online already. So I just want to scale it a little bit. Just so that's why I come on to here today to learn a little bit more about it. Like you say, and I'm doing a lot of posts, I'm doing a lot of content. And yeah, like you say, some people don't like it, some people do. And yeah, I don't do where you um messing with random people and asking what if you need help with. But I
Sure.
think to me that's just too much to do. You get what I mean? There must be other ways to do it.
So you're looking at wanting to start, you're wanting to get more online clients, but you're looking at the
Yeah, because
DMs
I've got
thinking,
2 kids, 5 and a 3 year old. So I'm on the gym floor 4 in the morning to 9 p.m. So I'm busy PT. So I make a fair lot of money, but I just think it's time for me to move and
sure.
start doing it online.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So you're looking at like that whole DM thing and you're thinking like, how am I going to find the time to do this? There must be another way.
No, it must be other way. Like sometimes some people don't like it, do they? Do all the cold call and all stuff like that. So
Well, I mean, like we said with the DMs, you don't want to do cold DMs, you know? Like this was the point that I was really trying to make clear before. It's not
yeah,
necessarily,
I think I missed it because I came on about
oh, okay,
10
mate.
minutes
Yeah.
onto the call, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why I
So
didn't hear it.
yeah, that's okay. That's okay. So like I'm with you on that. I don't want you doing cold calls. And it's not right for some people. Like I would prefer to talk to people that actually want to talk to me.
Yeah,
I,
because I
I'm
think
on board.
when you, that's what I do. I think when you talk to people, I think they get to know what your personality is like and how you talk on the call and how you leave the call. If you leave the call desperate, then they know that you're never going to come back to you. If you leave the call saying, okay, then I'll send you a 7 days plan over. I'll keep you on track for that 7 days and see how
Yeah.
you feel. If you lose anything, then we'll go on to a call and talk about what
Yeah.
you want to do going forward. At least you're giving something free and you're not giving nothing. You get what I mean? So
Exactly. So what we tend to do with the people that we work with is have a system behind the content that creates those conversation opportunities on
yeah,
a
yeah, I
consistent
think you
basis.
need a phone. If you've got a phone system, what work, then it's going to work for you. So this is what I need to work on. So at the moment,
100%.
so.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, like you've got the link to the call. If you want to book in and we can have a look at it, then that's an option for you, mate. But there is a
Yeah,
way
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's 100%. Like, I'm sure you see my Instagram. My Instagram's really good. So
Okay, mate. Well, yeah, we'll connect some point after this and we'll break it down for you.
yeah, yeah, no problem, no problem. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, mate. Yeah, of course. All right, bit of chatter down here. Um, knowing when to post, knowing how to start. Farhan, I hope I'm saying your name right. I don't know if you don't have to unmute if you don't want to. At the same time, you can. Knowing how to start, I know that that's like that can be a really like stick. It's a big sticking point for people. I would say that like the order of things, it's similar to what we've just shown there, right? Really similar to what we've just shown there. I will share screen again so that you can see it. So you've got three problems to solve. So when it comes to like deciding, okay, what do I even do? Where do I even start? You've kind of got to look at, okay, well, what is like the actual bottleneck to me getting clients or like actually having a business? And really, there can only be three, right? You've got, well, you don't have people to actually sell to, or you're not able to sell to the people that you do have. Now, before that, the only other bottleneck that you can encounter is you don't have an offer and you're not sure what you got to help people do. So if you don't have that, then you first need to decide on the transformation that you're going to help people go on, what their current situation is, what their desired outcome is, and be able to articulate what that is. Are you there, Farhan? Can we talk? You are. You can unmute if you want, mate. You can we can go back and forth. No? Okay. No worries, mate. No worries, no worries, no worries. Um, That's fine. But basically, like if you don't have an offer, what I'm trying to say is you need to figure out who you're going to work with, what you're going to help them do, and then how you're going to articulate that. If you do have an offer, then you now need to start to grow your audience. That's like what you'd need to focus on. So if you're not sure where to start, that's how you break it down and decide like what you need to do. But mate, we'll connect. We'll connect after this, and we'll break it down for you. We'll figure out where you're at. Um, knowing when to post. Yeah, knowing when to post. I would say like universally, wherever you are, like 6 p.m. local time as a general rule is good. Um, systems to use for online training, consistent content. I find it hard to be inspired and make time. Imposter syndrome. Yeah, that imposter syndrome is a tricky one. I don't know if I made a. I think I made a YouTube video actually. I'm actually going to drop you a link to it. It's not necessarily imposter syndrome related, but I think just on that it might help because I think it's more so like as much as it's imposter syndrome, we can kind of broaden that out to like it's almost a bit of a mental health thing as well, isn't it? It's like sometimes you just don't. If you're feeling good, you want to make content. If you feel like shit, and you're feeling introverted, then it's really difficult to do. I'm going to drop a link in the chat to that. What else have we got? Pricing. Yeah, pricing. That's a good topic. I actually think I'll probably do like a offer creation workshop at some point. And I think in that what we'll do is we'll talk through price and stuff then. There's a link to that YouTube video. Let's just have a little look at what else we've got going on here. Pricing, finding leads, starting conversations, knowing how to structure the sales calls or DMs, how to start going online, PT, apps, clients onboarding, client park queues. Yep. To be honest, Jess, I think like before you worry about like park queues or onboardings or anything like that, definitely figuring out those fundamentals of like who you're going to help, what you're going to help them do, and then from there looking at some of the apps that I've sent you to set that up. I mean, delivery, really a lot of people overcomplicate it. Really, you need sort of three mechanisms. You need a mechanism to deliver programming, you need a mechanism to track and deliver nutrition, and you need something in place to hold them accountable. So essentially, the apps tend to cover those bases. So yeah, intuitively set up as much as you can, but just reach out if you're a little bit unsure on that, and it can give you a push in the right direction when you get into that point. Client park queues and whatnot as well if needed. Maximizing cold outreach. Yeah, a few people connecting. Yeah. Definitely drop your Instagrams in the chats if you want to connect with each other, guys. Like it's fine by me. How to find a niche when you are used to training a wide variety of clients with different goals. That's a really, really good question. Definitely interested in pricing. This is an area I struggle to commit. This is an area I struggle to commit to getting started. Have my niche, have my niche in my own app. Okay. Dan, I'm not sure if you mean like the pricing of your thing or the pricing of our thing, but whichever it is, we'll reach out and go back and forth on that a little for you. Daniel says definitely sorry, no. Daniel says hard to find the niche when you Daniel, are you there? Daniel Hayward. Are you there? Daniel Hayward. You are, yeah. I don't know if you can unmute, mate, but feel free. I think like my advice on that would be go with a niche that you are in. Like I would go with your or whatever your own transformation has been and you relate to the most, then go with that. Obviously, I don't know you. I don't know what that is for you. But like that's kind of like a surface level answer that you can go off. Lisa, which apps do you suggest? Sorry, I was late to sign in. Yeah, that's okay. Let's have a look. Put it up here somewhere. God, it's ages ago. Let me find it. I'll just type them out again. Yeah, no worries, Daniel. No worries, mate. Trainer Eyes, Kahunas. These are the apps, by the way. Everfit. There you go, Lisa. Yeah. Yeah, I'll send the recording of this out, Oliver, no problem. Just you sent me your Instagram there. Okay. All right, guys, so what I'm gonna finish off on, just before I jump off here now, is I'm gonna audit, if this is okay with Jess. I'm gonna audit Jess's Instagram. Jess, is that okay with you? Go for it. Cheers. I didn't want to put you in front of everybody if you're not comfortable with it, but appreciate that. All right, so your niche is, by the looks of it, running. So helping you run stronger without giving up chocolate or pizza. PT tips, running hacks, easy eats. Do you know what? There's actually some really, really solid feedback that we can give on this profile. I'm gonna go top down. I'm gonna try and not like nitpick too hard, but I am gonna just like say what I would change. So first things first, I would probably change the profile picture. I actually think this pin post picture that you've got right here, I think that looks more inviting. I think it looks more friendly, a bit more organic. I think that when something looks too branded, then people assume that you're a business and their like sales resistance increases, meaning that they'll be harder to turn into a client. No stories up. I know it's a bit of a grind, but having stories up there always helps if we're nitpicking. You've got your name here, obviously. You've got PT and nutrition coach. Sometimes you can relate that to your offer. So if you're specifically going to be helping people run better, then you could have running coach here. Now, when we're getting into your bio, you really want to consider, like, you really want to streamline the amount of information that somebody is getting from coming onto your page. And ideally, we want them to get 1 point from this. We want them to be so focused on like the one thing that you help people do. So, for example, when you click onto my page, not to say that mine is like absolutely perfect, but it's crystal clear of what we do, right? I've got turning online coaches into money-making athletes, transition fully online in the next 6 months. So I'm very, 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 it's very obvious what I actually help people. It's very tangible. People feel like they can reach out and touch it. A good example of that is our client Alex. He's actually a really, really good example. He's been running this for a while now. It says, I'll help you craft a lifestyle that makes fat loss effortless. So he tells us what the result is. He tells us sort of what how it's going to be almost, which is, you know, really, really smart. And he says how he'll help us with that. Alongside that, he's also got like weight loss coach up here. So it'd be really difficult to come onto Alex's page and not know what he helps people do. Now, I think that you're not too far off that, to be honest, Jess. You are saying we are talking about running a lot, which is really, really good. I'm not sure the positioning of this offer is quite right with like helping you run stronger without giving up chocolate or pizza. I I know. I mean, and again, correct. I might be wrong. This might just be an assumption. I'm not sure if runners are like. Is that a big pain point for runners? Like giving up pizza and chocolate? Feel free to unmute if you want, Jess, and at the same time you don't have to.
I was just thinking of something like catchy to write. I didn't want to
Yeah,
sound too robotic, to be honest.
that's
So,
all right. Yeah.
yeah, that was just something that I found on AI
No, it's a good.
and
Do
it
you know?
just
Do you
fit
know what? It's a
into
good start.
like what I preferred.
Yeah. No, it's actually a really good start. It's actually a really good start. I just think that we could have this message be a little bit more potent and relatable um and tangible. Did we who have we got that's running? David Sadkin. Hmm. Yeah, we was working with a guy in his office yesterday who's doing running. Because there's different approaches that you can take with it with running. It's like, do you want to help people? Okay, let me ask you this. Do you want to specifically help people perform better as a runner, or do you want to help people reap the rewards from running? Like, what do you want the core message to be?
Um, just to get the rewards from running. So it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or already running 10Ks, for example. I would like to help people to improve not only on their running but their strength as well, because a lot of people forget that actually strength is quite important when it comes to running.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is where I see this. So this is where I see like the problem with this offer is that like you're either helping like the end outcome is either that we're going to help someone's running be like perform at a higher standard, and whether that's you're measuring performance by speed, distance, or even just feeling, that's fine. Doesn't like there's no ties to that. Or your offer is based around helping people reap the rewards that they get from running outside of running. That's where I see the two messages being split. Because if you're gonna go down the route of like what okay, I want to help people reap the rewards from running, like weight loss, like better performance, better cardio, better mental health, it would actually make more sense to base the messaging of your offer to sell those outcomes rather than even mentioning running, because running is then like the mechanism that you're using to help people achieve that outcome, right? Whereas if your offer is going to be based on increasing running performance, then the running performance is the end outcome. Is that making sense?
So, do you mind just going over it one more time? Sorry.
Yeah. No, of course, of course, of course. So if you want to position your offer as like, okay, I'm going to help you run so that you can lose weight, so that you can feel better in yourself, so that you can feel more confident, and like ultimately like the end outcome is their weight loss or they're feeling better, then I would say that your messaging would be better if you mention that, because then
Okay.
running is like the mechanism that you're using to get them to that outcome. Because remember,
Yeah.
we're always selling an outcome. So that's one route you can go down. The other route that you can go down is helping people, like the offer being that you're going to help them perform better as a runner. You might not have you might not have an answer for it now, Jess. You might not have an answer for it now. Um, but I think that we need to get clear on what that looks like. Of course, yeah. It's clear. Like guys, it's just clarity. When people go onto your page, they just there has to be no question of like what is the what am I what's in it for me. That's basically it. All right, let's get in. Um, okay, Dan, love you to audit mine if you have time. Dan, I'll actually reach out. I've got to jump off now, but I'll actually reach out and we can set that up, mate. All right, we'll give you an audit. That's not a problem. Um, Drew, I think obviously you're doing the same there. We'll reach out and we'll set that up. We'll have a bit of an audit together. But guys, really appreciate you stayed on here for 70 minutes. So really appreciate you all sticking around. And yeah, I will be announcing another one of these soon. So yeah, speak to you all soon. Take care.
Great. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye
Thanks.
bye.
Bye.